The motivation that brings us here is that the current system is not working, and that society stands on the brink of nothing less than complete destruction of democratically elected government and a return to nothing less than serfdom. That's why we're all here, because we all sense it. It's not working. Although I do not believe gold-backed money will work to serve the public interest if it is the primary legal tender, I fully support it as a complementary currency for the reasons you heard discussed earlier. That's why I'm here. I would put myself in the category of being a monetary reformer. The reason Bretton Woods failed was because all the good deposit gold in Fort Knox was gone. Sent by rail and truck to the Federal Reserve Bank in New York and then over to the London Gold Pool, where it was sold for $35 an ounce, trying to suppress the price of gold. Once all the gold was gone, Nixon closed the gold window. He did what he had to do, although I neither agree or disagree with it. I'm just stating it as a fact. And so that's what was behind that. The history of nations is not the uninterrupted use of gold as money. U.S. history, for example, is nothing but one giant struggle between the forces of those who want a gold-only money system, typically the banker and the banker class, and those who prefer a from the ground up government-issued money, debt-free government-issued money. I also heard about the government having political incentives for abuse of the quantity of money, but I heard nothing about the incentive for abuse from those who actually do have control of the money supply, the commercial banks. At least we can diselect politicians. We have absolutely no hope of diselecting a banker. And the banker class is absolutely and completely, totally in control of the quantity of our money today. The only thing they do not control is coin money. Everything else all other American money is created as an interest-bearing debt by commercial banks. Unless we face that fact, we have no hope whatsoever of coming to grips with what the proper solution would be. Another presenter told us that gold coin money has always been the coin of the realm for nations throughout history. This is not the case. Typically in the ancient world, trade within a nation state was done using cheap money, and accounts internationally were settled in gold. The vast majority of British history was fueled not by gold coin, but by debt-free tally sticks, which I'm the only person to have shown on film in both of my films. They were nothing but simple sticks of wood. They operated perfectly well for over 700 years and were terminated when the Bank of England took control of the British monetary system in 1694. From that point on, Britain started borrowing all of its money into existence, just as the case we have today. And the problem with that is that once you start borrowing your national money from bankers, you become indebted to the bankers, and according to the Bible, the borrower is servant to the lender. So you end up having government by banker. But there's a term for that in economics. It's called plutocracy, and that is in fact what we have today. The problem is not that the government controls the monetary system. If only that were the case. The problem is that the bankers control the quantity of money. And that's what we have to take back. And in my opinion, what Utah should do as a next step is to claw back some of that federal power by following the Bank of North Dakota model. That's why North Dakota has had this banking experiment for 90 years now. That's why North Dakota is the most fiscally sound of all the states. Right now, there's a bill sitting on Governor Jerry Brown's desk in California, which will form a study commission to study this solution for California. There are 10 or 11 states that have proposed this, and as someone said before, the Utah monetary bill, they all end up getting killed in committee. But there's a wonderful way to do this if you follow the Bank of North Dakota model, and that is you don't end up competing with the local banking establishment. The local banking establishment in North Dakota loves the Bank of North Dakota because it acts as a mini Fed. It supports them financially. It knows that it's plowing all of North Dakota's money back into North Dakota. I was on the floor of the House of Representatives for the state of Missouri about a year ago. I was invited by the chairman of their budget committee. And I was introduced on the floor. And he told me that if Missouri were to implement the Bank of North Dakota model, they would immediately be able to cut their deficit in half. Every state in this union, until proper monetary reform is possible, politically possible in the United States, every state in this union should be looking at this solution. It's tried and true. It's worked for 90 years in North Dakota. I think that's the next step for Utah. I'll end it there. Thank you.